All right.
Okay, we're recording.
Okay, thank you. A representative from the Vietnam veterans reached out to me. I understand there was a post on social media announcing that this event was canceled. That may have been premature, so they are asking for our support with this resolution. And in the event that it is canceled, they will let us know. Council good with that?
Sure.
Council, do you want to speak out? Oh, wait, what? Come on. Okay. All right, resolution 6 by Councilmember Rautenstrau. All right, resolution 7, do we want to talk about it? So this is the first step in overriding the tax cap. Now, Jim, there's 4 steps to this process, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the next step would be what?
First one is to give it to, put it on the agenda, and the next one would be to set the public hearing.
Correct. Okay. And is Bill on?
I'm here.
So do we know what the tax cap is for 2021?
We do not. We just got an email, went to Jim and I guess some people on the council. It didn't come to me, but I'm not sure that's an official communication. I'm going to follow up and see if it is the 1.5 roughly that was mentioned in an email, but they haven't notified me as a treasurer that that's the official cap I have to stay under this year. So I'm going to try to get on that right away and see if they have a little more information on that.
But in order for the mayor and the council to stay under the tax cap, are we looking at about $700,000 that we'd have to?
I'm going to say they start at 700 roughly. There's a lot of variables. I don't want to hone it down. There's some large budget numbers that we'd have to do to get down to that point because we had the land sales from last year. That was 400 in the budget. So we won't have that. The savings that we projected for medical, considerably, you can say that's about 300. So just getting over that, if we didn't have any other increases, would be about 700,000.
Okay.
We still have, we've made some adjustments, and there's still ongoing talks about certain raises and things. So I'm going to say somewhere between 700 and a $1.2 million would be a very wide guess on where we'd have to start cutting to get down to the cap number.
So in a sense, we'd be talking services. All right.
Probably.
Anything else? Have any questions? Okay. All right, block party. Mr. Newman.
Yes. I will be back.
Welcome. All right, resolution 9. I want to amend it and remove the words grant because it's not a grant, right, Mayor?
Right.
Okay. So this is an urban initiative. We never applied for this money. It was part of the urban initiative from our Erie County legislator. So we didn't apply for this grant or this money, so to speak. So is everybody okay with amending it and removing the word grant?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just keep it as urban initiatives. Council? You want to do council on this? Perfect. Okay, do we have executive?
Yeah. Personnel.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session for personnel of particular persons and contract negotiations. Do I have a second? Second by Mrs. Cammerdiner. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, Jim.
So it's for, I'm sorry, it was for personnel, and what was the other thing?
Contract negotiations.
Okay, if you can give me a minute to put everybody else
You
back in
got
the
it.
meeting room.
All right, stay tuned. For this commercial break. Now there's two Jim Cassos.
There was two Jim Costos.
There was before.
There's
Okay.
always has been.
I didn't know if somebody tried to sneak in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, duh.
Okay, and I'm also stopping the recording.
Perfect.
I bring you specific example of what each line pays for, and I'm always ready, willing, and able to discuss any questions you might have. While the council met with each department head and a union representative to discuss their respective budgets, at no time did I question the budget of another department. I simply presented this body with the facts that I had and what certain cuts would mean to the overall police budget. Mr. Angelo chose to go after my department. One must ask why. Is it because Mr. Angelo has no basis to justify his position other than attacking another department? Mr. Angelo wanted to talk about overtime. Let's talk about overtime. In 2019, police calls for services were 18,766. The police overtime budget was $235,000. This includes dispatch, which is a 24-hour, 7-day operation that comes out of my budget. In 2019, the city received these reimbursements for special details. We received $57,700 for the school resource officer, $2,106.42 for stop DWI patrols, $11,717.09 for stone garden, $9,624.82 for police traffic services, $7,412.03 for school security, and $15,882.73 in the Drug Enforcement Administration reimbursement. That total is $104,445.09. So my overtime budget, when you decrease that, was actually $130,554.91. And this doesn't include special events, which are approved by the council, some of which aren't reimbursed, like right for Roswell and Canal Fest. In the fire department, currently they're budgeted for $175,000. Plus, there's a budget line of $95,000 for comp time buyback, which is overtime, which means for a little more than 2,000 calls for service, the overtime in the fire department budget is $270,000. Do they get reimbursements? Maybe. I wouldn't know because it's not my area of expertise, just as Mr. Angelo has no expertise in my budget. Mr. Angelo also mentioned how he offered the mayor to put the training officer and inspection officer on the line to help with overtime. The fact that this doesn't already occur is an insult. The police department answers 18,766 calls with a 4-man minimum. Just for sake of comparison, on July 3rd, 2020, the 4 officers working the 7 to 3 shift consisted of a shift lieutenant, a police officer, and both the captain of patrol and the captain of detectives. Everyone counts other than the chief of police in efforts to curtail overtime and keep costs down. The fact that 2 firefighters don't count towards staffing minimums is incredible. Somehow we're always led to believe that public safety will suffer dramatically if 5 firefighters aren't on duty, yet 4 police officers handle almost 10 times the amount of yearly calls. One of the suggestions I've heard was that cuts be across the board. I just want to make my argument on why I don't think that's a fair way to do things. Just one example is, you all know that I don't come to you to hit the capital budget for equipment or purchases. The other departments do because of the cost of the equipment that they need. But if we're going to cut across the board, does their capital projects count towards this reduction? I shouldn't be punished for not hitting your capital budget and would implore you to make cuts where they're justified and don't just resort across the board reductions. The other part would be is if you cut across the board, that 104,000 that I bring in revenue, basically you're asking me to cut what I bring in. Just say if there was a 20% cut across the board. Do I get credit for the $104,000 of reimbursement, or are you actually asking me to cut $20,000 out of money that was brought in? Finally, to the council, I apologize for having to make this speech tonight. I never wanted to do this and would not have if Mr. Angelo hadn't questioned the police budget and what I felt was my integrity. I hope Mr. Angelo reflects on his words and actions and decides in the future to take a different approach to budget negotiations. Thank you for your time, and as always, please reach out to me if you have any questions.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Do you have any questions?
Thank you. All right, let's go around the room. Mr. Newman?
I have nothing.
Camera Diner?
Mayor, just a quick question. I met with the LDC last week. They are going to be approving, so everybody knows, they approved to do the rezoning. $400 that it would cost. They just wanted to, the question was brought up, could the city possibly reimburse the $400 that the LDC? And I said, no. It is what we will be putting in, we have to have a resolution for that.
For
them
to do the
to do
result.
rezoning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will work on that with
Jim?
Jim, so that we can get that on. And then our next meeting, we cannot have in. It has to be outside of City Hall. That my understanding.
The next
We
LGC
typically
meeting?
meet- Yeah, we typically meet at 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
but we can't have access to the building.
On Tuesday you can.
Well, it is Tuesday.
So City Hall is open in the evenings, only the first and
First and
third.
third
Yeah.
Tuesday of every month.
Okay. So I will let them know.
There's also the 2 hours on Saturdays and Sundays that we have janitors here that are cleaning the police station, cleaning the cells out. That is also a possibility.
You know what?
I believe it's 9 to 11, but I'll get back to you on that.
It's 9 to 11.
Okay. But I'll reach out to them and let them know too, because maybe we can move it for either that Saturday before or Saturday.
And there's always Thursday.
Yeah, well, most of them work,
Okay.
so that tends to be a little bit.
Okay.
But I'll reach out to them before I get those. And that's really all I have.
All right. Mr. Rocker?
Jenna?
Yes.
Just to let you know that Alice Roth reached out via email about 4:30, well after 4:30 today, asking about the availability, and I did let her know that the boards would be meeting on the first and third Tuesday from 4:30 to 6, or 6:30 to 8, and she was requesting like the 25th. I'm sorry, yeah, August 25th. So I did inform her of that. We'll be looking at either the 4th or the 18th. So
And that would be our council, that would be our meetings in on the 25th. Their normal meeting.
normal council meetings would be the 4th and the 18th next month.
Right, but the LDC would be meeting on the 25th.
No, again, as the mayor indicated, the city hall would be open evenings just the first and third Tuesday.
Right. Well, I'm gonna reach out to her and let her know that if they can, if they want to do it, we'll do it on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Uh,
9 and 11.
If the mayor's, if that's,
Yeah, that was the correspondence that was sent to us.
okay.
Mr. Armstrong?
I just have questions about follow-up, which I'm sure, I guess somebody will bring up when he speaks, but I'm just kind of curious where we're at with the Niagara Shore sale. Any questions about the cell tower, if there's any feedback on that? And any to do with the school on Niagara Street, if there's any continued work on that or anything picked up. Maybe questions on that, talking about, these might be more for, Michigan. I can go
Now, the cell tower, there's a public hearing on the 27th.
yeah.
I mean, I think Eric would be our go-to for information on that. My understanding is it's private property.
Yeah.
It already went through the ZBA. They've blessed it. Is it an AT&T or Verizon?
I'm clerki, the carrier is.
Okay, it's a carrier, and I guess it'll improve the cell service.
But it's all private.
You-
It's
right.
just mayor zoning, zoning hearing.
Right,
Uh,
that's my understanding of it.
Yep, and, oh, I guess for, Mr. Lewis, in for the Niagara Shore.
No, on Niagara Shore, I'm still waiting. I haven't been able to, the surveyor wants me to go to the county clerk's office and get the historical documents, the descriptions of the property. The description we gave to our assessor, he said that wasn't even accurate any longer. So the surveyor is gonna do a description and a survey. But because the county clerk's office has been closed, I can't go look at the historical documents for the old ones that are not on the computer. So I'm waiting to be able to get into the clerk's office and go in the basement and go through the old deeds.
There's nothing changed in the estimate.
No,
It was really good. I think we had, talked earlier, we had some emails going around, there's on Main Street, the cleanup in the trees. I think we talked with her, they haven't back and forth that email, but is there anything preventing them, from doing any kind of improvements?
Nope, no.
Trees that can all be.
Yeah. No, and I'll reach out to the, or you can reach out to
Yeah.
the owner.
Yeah, that's as well, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool, thank you. That's really it.
All right, thank you, Sean. Mr. Mile?
Nothing tonight for this.
Jim, we have, Dave Morano coming to our meeting in August, right?
Correct, I believe the 18th.
Wow, okay. Did everyone get a chance to look at the, recommendation from Dave regarding the solar RPTL 487? That's that exemption.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be on our docket to talk to Dave about on the 18th. So just take a look. I mean, Mayor, from your perspective, there wasn't an urgency for any council action at this point. It's just on our radar
Right.
to discuss.
Right,
Okay.
because it's technically an improvement to the property, and, I mean, there needs to be an accounting of either an improvement to the property that the assessor can be able to quantify and justify when, assessing a property's value. So,
Right. Can you, reach out to Eric and ask if he can meet with the council at our next meeting? For the purposes of, Eric Lindhurst. I think we as a body want to talk about dumpsters and possible ordinance. I know we had floated the discussion around several years ago. Sean was on the council. And we talked about dumpsters and enclosing them. I understand we don't have an ordinance to enclose that. I mean, we're correct, right? And that's my assumption.
Yeah.
We had talked about it.
Right, we talked about it, right.
Especially with proximity to the house.
So
We have any local ordinances on anything in Somerville, actually.
we should,
Probably comes from the city as well.
well, the council at one point had talked about adopting an ordinance to that effect. So
I could find one.
I think we should revisit it. So if he could meet with us at our next meeting, that's kind of what we want to talk about. He's the expert on that.
Jenna,
Yes,
just to let you know again, for the first meeting in August, we have Matt coming from Drescher and Malecki,
correct.
the update on the 2019 audit.
Correct. He's coming at 6:05.
Correct.
All right, perfect. We had a question from a homeowner who lives on DeKalb about consumers, the work that they're doing there. And one of the questions was about the dumpster and what our ordinance was in place. So Tom is actually working with the owner and the residents to kind of work through some of the challenges. But it never went through, and it didn't need to, but it never went through planning or zoning board of
No,
appeals.
because at the time, you guys were looking at it just from a Main Street standpoint,
Right,
and where behind, as you get south on Main Street, the area behind the businesses shrinks considerably to where they couldn't place a dumpster with an enclosure behind their businesses because
Right.
there just wasn't enough property for them to do that. So you guys kind of
right.
tabled the discussion.
Right.
And
Did you have anything for around the room? No? All right. That concludes our informal. So now Jim will go into our formal. If you can please call the roll.
Newman,
Here.
Cameron,
Here,
Raudenstrahl,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook.
Here, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One,
under God,
indivisible, liberty and
and
justice.
justice for all. Okay, thank you. Heavenly Father, bring stillness to our hearts, empty our minds of other things, and direct our thoughts on you in our work together. When we reflect on how you have supported and cared for us in the past, we cannot fail to give you thanks. When we consider the way you give us courage and help for each new day, we are filled with a sense of gratitude and praise. When you lift us from the pit of doubt and despair, our whole being feels renewed and refreshed. What a comfort it is to know the love and support you bring to us through your Son and by your Spirit. In our joy, let us not forget those who know little else but sadness. In our sense of gratitude and praise, let us not forget those whose lives are filled with regrets and heartbreaks. In our feeling of support and guidance, let us not forget those who feel they have struggled against life's difficulties and disappointments, alone and uncared for. The despair of the homeless in our city, the feelings of guilt by parents who cannot feed their children, the worries and fears of those in the hospital, the isolation of the lonely, the deep sense of loss to those in bereavement. Heavenly Father, you are not only the God of this world, you are the ruler of your heavenly kingdom. Strengthen us while we live out our life on this earth to show us the compassion and the caring of Jesus. Help us to bless our city and all those in our care. Hold before us the reality of your kingdom, where there is no suffering, pain, or regret, so that we may share it with those who are without hope. For we ask all these things through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Okay, communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondences have also been ordered and filed. Resolution 9 has been amended, and the word grant has been removed in the second and last line, and we are not going into executive session. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. I understand that there's an opportunity for you either to raise your hand, to make mention that you wish to address the council. At this time, you may do so. Any comments on the resolutions? Jim, any notifications on your end?
No one indicating any comments on the resolutions.
Okay.
I just want to make one comment on the resolution, please.
I'm sorry?
I'd like to make a comment on resolution number 4, please.
Sure.
Just want to let everyone know with regards to the deputy clerk's position, due to a retirement of Lori Schultz, who served the city for a little over 15 years, the last 4.5 is deputy city clerk to both Gail Cypus and myself, resulted in the opening. I wanted to thank her for all her work for the city and all that she's done and all the support she gave me over the last couple of years. And then with this resolution, we are not replacing the position due to the hiring freeze at this time. We are assigning the additional duties and responsibilities of the deputy city clerk, and I am recommending that that those duties and responsibilities be assigned to Lynn Burke.
All right, thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on the resolutions? All right, let's roll.
Resolution number 1 by the council, seconded by the council.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Kimmerdiner.
Aye.
Raudenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2 by Councilmember Mylum.
Do we have a second? I'll second. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Kimmerdiner.
Aye.
Raudenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 3 by Councilmember Raudenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that, President.
Second by Mr. Newman. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Kimmerdiner.
Aye.
Raudenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4 by Councilmember Newman.
I'll second. Comments or questions? Comment. I want to thank our city clerk for this recommendation. I'm very pleased to see this recommendation, and congratulations to Mrs. Burke. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Kimmerdiner.
Aye.
Raudenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5 by the council, seconded by the council.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Kimmerdiner.
Aye.
Raudenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 6 by Councilmember Raudenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Ms. Cammerdiner. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Kimmerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 7 by Councilmember Mylum.
Do we have a second? I'll second. Comments or questions?
Comment?
Mr. Newman?
So at this time, I understand that this is a dual toolbox. It's preliminary settings in case something happens, but I'm still not comfortable pushing this through myself. Because I still feel that we are currently at the end of our rope. Like, I feel like this is the last resort, and I don't think we're there. I don't think we've done enough. Not just us, we've been doing a lot, but I think the employees of the city really need to step to the plate. That's how I feel. At this time, I'm opposed, but that's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Comment, actually question, and I see our city treasurer on. Bill, we received a correspondence that the tax cap would be at 1.51%. To your knowledge, that's still unofficial, correct?
Correct.
Okay. When would you anticipate that there would be an official correspondence?
I will reach out to Albany and find out exactly. This is my first time going through this, so that might be the official notice, but I would expect something more than that email that went out as a blast. So I will reach out and find out, but it's still the 1.5% to 2% is still a large gap to where we're at with our initial planning. So.
And in your best guesstimate, if the governing body would stay below the tax cap, we'd be looking at about $700,000.
That's my best guess. And again, what I've tried to stress right from the beginning is the state gives you the opportunity to override the cap. So we'd still get all the benefits as if we didn't override the cap. And they give us till January 21st to get that accomplished, where if we found out that some numbers changed in late September, we actually wouldn't be able to get everything passed before the budget would have to be approved. There might still be time to get it done before the budget takes effect, but it'd be easier to override it now and unoverride it. Or if we override it and get our numbers down, we could also take the amount we're below the cap and apply that toward next year. So if we override it and then bring the numbers down, we still get the benefits of either be able to apply the difference by what we got under the cap by, or to apply that to the following year. And we also have the ability to override the cap and then receive whatever benefits come with not overriding the tax cap. So there's two ways after this is done to still achieve the goals that the council wanted to keep taxes as low as possible. And I understand Mr. Newman's feelings on that. We can override, use it as a tool, but if we receive bad news in September regarding where our per capita numbers are going or state aid, it would be too late at that point really to get it in before you have to vote on the budget. But we have plenty of time after we know where the budget lands to override. So it's better to have that tool and then not use it than to not have it.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Bill. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Nay.
Kimmerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 8 by Councilmember Newman.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Ms. Cammerdiner. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Kimmerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau, Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 9 by the council, seconded by the council.
Comments or questions? Comment. Just by way of explanation, this is not a grant. This city did not apply for it. It's part of an urban initiative started by Erie County Legislative Kevin Hardwick. The city of Tonawanda is getting awarded $250,000. That money, the monies will be earmarked. $50,000 will go to the LDC. Portion of the money will go to a boiler at DPW, estimated at $79,900. The dog control officer, new vehicle estimated at $27,000. A DPW tractor and mower, estimated at $55,000, and a DPW salt truck estimated at $37,000. I wanted to thank Erie County Legislator Kevin Hardwick for his efforts in securing that funding for us. Many of these initiatives were on our capital improvement, which we had removed. So I want to thank the Erie County Legislator for his efforts in securing those funds for our community so that we can put that money to good use. Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman.
Aye.
Himmerdiner.
Aye.
Rautenstrau.
Aye.
Mylum.
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. Now at this time, we'll take comments by the public following the resolutions. Please, there's a button, I guess, that you can press to raise your hand and speak. So now at this time, we'll take comments by the public on following the resolutions. If anyone wishes to speak.
I do have a comment.
Okay.
Let me just unmute him. You got Pete Somerville.
Okay,
Hi, Pete Somerville, 197 Walter Avenue. I am been in contact with a few of you, well, all of you I've sent emails to, and I appreciate those of you that have responded to me. I am an avid bicyclist, and I am disgusted with the fact that the pub is closed. I find it a total embarrassment to the city of Tonawanda to spend that amount of money to have that closed. When I'm out riding with various members of my bike clubs and the subject of the hub comes up, it's usually humorous. I realize we're on a restricted budget, but I think, you know, even to open it 8 hours a day, you probably have somebody in there maybe every 2 hours to clean it. A little bit of buyer beware as far as using it on your own. I wish we would do something to keep that open. This isn't some dilapidated bathroom like you got over here at Ives Pond or down at East Niagara. It's, by the way, you guys should tear down sometimes if you're never going to open them. Just, you know, we're the laughing stock of the bicycling community. And, you know, we've got the nicest facility in Western New York and we've got it closed. So anything you can do would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Somerville. Any other comments or questions? Last call. Any other comments or questions? Okay, Mr. Newman.
I have no comment. Thank you, Madam President.
Ms. Cameron.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Rautenstrau.
Yeah, I have a couple comments. Thank you, Madam President. One, I would like to just thank Chief Strasburg for addressing the vagrancy issues along Niagara Street that's affecting business. I appreciate him getting out there. I just wanted to make mention of that. I do want to extend a congratulations on the retirement of Laura Schultz, and welcome board, and congratulations to Lynn Burke as well. I just do want to make a comment in regards to the local law number 2 in regards to the property tax levy, start the process to go over the cap. It's not anything any of us want to do. I don't think it's, I think we need to tighten our belt to make sure we turn over every stone here. It is a tool, and obviously we want to find a way to not get past that. But given this year, given the situation that we're faced with this year, and $700,000 that we're faced with next year before we even start, it's a lot to swallow. I do just want to respond to Councilman Newman in regards to his opposition, that I'm curious to hear the suggestions, and I challenge you to find some more options. Just in the last meeting, my egregious suggestion in regards to cutting overtime was objected by everyone in protest. We're talking $160,000. That's been objected by everybody when we're faced with a number of $700,000 next year. My goal is obviously to maintain our services to the city. I think it's something we've all come to rely on, not to see our neighbors and our employees lose their jobs through this whole process. I will continue to work hard, but I think I do see the realism that this is something that's on the horizon. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rounstraw. Mr. Mylum?
Yes, I think Mr. Rounstraw was reading on my paper here. I need to congratulate Mrs. Schultz on her retirement. I hope it's long and healthy for you. And to Mrs. Burke, congratulations on a very well-deserved position. I also received a letter from a group of residents in Rogers Court on July 20th. I'd like to read into the record. It's addressed to the Common Council and the Mayor. To the City of Tonawanda Common Council and Mayor. On Friday, July 10th, 2020, milling and paving began on Rogers Avenue. Those of us that live in the court all received notices that our cars had to be off the street and were under the impression that the court was included in this project. By the end of the day, we knew that we were left out. It is approximately 200 feet of roadway. We were told it consisted of 20% of the budget, which is hard to believe without seeing the numbers. The homes in the court are assessed at a considerably higher rate than those on the street, and taxes have gone up 23.8% since 2018. We don't mind paying taxes when we are receiving the same services as all taxpayers. When left out of a big project like this, we feel like the red-headed stepchildren left out at Christmas. The roadway is deteriorating. By not including the court in the project, the city has devalued our home. Everything is curb appeal when selling a home or appraising for home improvement loans from the banks. With the court in its present condition, it appears that it's neglected, not appealing to an appraisal. In light of the above facts, please reconsider milling and paving our court. Not fair that it was not done at this time. We pay our taxes and expect to be treated equal, not treated as an afterthought. Please get our court on the project when Rogers Avenue is completed next year. And this was signed by all of the residents of Rogers. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Mylum. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to thank Lori Schultz and John Moore, two individuals that put many years into the city, and I wish them good luck and Godspeed in their future endeavors of retirement, which I hope to get to enjoy at some point in my lifetime. I'd like to congratulate Lynn on her appointment. I've known Lynn since we were little, and she's an asset to the clerk's office, and I look forward to continuing to work with her. Last year, Legislator Hardwick came to me with the idea that because the county really doesn't provide many services to the three cities, which are us, Buffalo and Lackawanna, that he wanted to pitch the idea of urban initiatives in order to kind of assist us and the 2 other cities, and some funding for some local projects in our respective cities. And with working with him last year, he had hoped that to make it a year-round or a yearly thing. With COVID happening this year, we were actually quite lucky that Legislator Hardwick and our county executive were able to continue to provide this service to the city. And I just want to thank them for their continuing efforts across all Erie County. August 1st, City Hall will be reopening, but there's a disclaimer. You will have to have an appointment in order to enter the building. We are still trying to control any possible spread or second wave in the area of COVID. So I ask that people continue to use the clerk's drop box, which has been very successful. And if you need to speak to somebody face to face in City Hall, call that respective department after August 1st, and please make an appointment. It's that time of the year again. I get to tell everyone about the Army Corps spraying for hydrilla in the canal. You might notice the canal during the week of July 27th, a different color. Please don't jump in. It's pretty nasty stuff. You shouldn't be swimming in the canal anyways, but just be on the lookout for a vessel that's going along the water and spraying the embankment for this invasive species. Today I attended a press conference where the cities of Tonawanda and North Tonawanda received the Erie Canal National Heritage Corridor Gateway designation. This is the culmination of the hard work on both sides of the canal to help make the Twin Cities a regional destination and our visions for our respective downtown waterfronts. You never expect to get recognized for the work that you've been able to accomplish, but it's always nice when people that live outside of the area realize what it is we're trying to do for our downtowns. While they did not come bearing a check, this designation will help us as both cities moving forward in getting the financial assistance for our revitalization efforts. Council President Cook at the last meeting criticized me for an email that I sent to the council detailing the loss of the sales tax revenue. She went on to insinuate that the information I gave the council was false, when in fact it wasn't. It was a simple cut and paste from an email that I received weekly from the Association of Erie County Governments, giving us an update on sales tax numbers. I did so as a professional courtesy to help the council understand the loss in revenue the city is facing from COVID and to be able to plan accordingly. From the beginning of the COVID crisis that we're all facing, there have been work schedule changes that have kept our city employees and their families safe, which have led to a decrease in overtime. We've had to furlough 2 city workers. I've instituted a hiring freeze. I've blocked the hiring of 12 seasonal workers, closed our senior citizen center, eliminated recreation programming for the year, just to name a few. These decisions have formed the bulk of the cuts that the council has made to the budget. Through the projections, we are only 25% of the way there. This still leaves around $1.5 million in a budget gap for the rest of the year. Now, we can talk about concessions and aid from the federal government until we're blue in the face, but even if those come through, the city is still facing a significant budget shortfall. Where's the rest of the money going to come from? It's either going to come from budget deficit financing, which will add a built-in tax rate to future budgets for the next 5 years, or it will come from fund balance, which we also need to be replenished in future budgets and would severely affect our ability to weather a second wave of COVID and the revenue shortfalls that would be associated with that. At this point in time, that can't be the answer. Now, to his credit, Councilman Roundshaw sponsored a resolution that would have cut the budgeted overtime to city departments. He was vilified during the last meeting for even putting that resolution on the agenda. There was nothing nefarious, sneaky, or wrong about what he did. He followed the exact protocol to bring the resolution up for discussion. Here's to my point. There are less days left in the year than there were 2 weeks ago to fix this problem. Every day that goes by is a day lost, and a day that we possibly will be closer to having to deal with this all over again. There are tough decisions that need to be made that might not be popular, but we weren't elected to always do the popular thing and get kudos on social media. We were elected to do the right thing. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to congratulate Frank Corbett. He was recently presented with a proclamation for his efforts in the community by our Erie County legislator, Kevin Hardwick. So I want to give him a huge shout out. Also, congratulations to Lori Schultz and John Moore on their retirement. And I want to give a special happy birthday, belated birthday, to our city clerk, Jim Cassow, who recently celebrated his birthday. I hope you had a great day, Jim.
Thank you.
With that said, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Seconded by Mr. Rautenstrau. All those in favor?
Aye.